Hi, everybody. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I had some tech issues right before going live. If you are here, please say hello. I was like, gotta get it all going. Hi, Kennedy. Oh, it's so good to see you all. So I feel like a mess here. Let me straighten myself up. I was trying to hook up my microphone. I think sometimes I just need to let everything be and not worry so much about perfect audio quality, et cetera, et cetera. So, how are you all doing today? How is your Monday? Let's see, what was I feeling before this? You know what I picked up in the collective over the past week, and I need to stop touching the table, it's moving, was so much busyness. Like, wow, people were busy this last week and kind of burning out. Did any of you experience that? I was really seeing it in the collective. I was seeing a lot of people um, just feeling absolutely overwhelmed by what they needed to do. So if that's you, let me know. If it's not you, good job. I hope you were getting some sleep. I have had to let myself really relax and be present with what is in each moment, which is always a good practice, but sometimes we get a little bit um, ahead of ourselves and sometimes we get really amped up. Hi, Yasodhara. And, that it can cause us to burn out. What I have noticed, and I'll just share this with all of you, what I have noticed is as we come into these new frequencies, these new energies, meaning we're moving into lighter frequencies where we don't have to push things, where things just really, they happen according to our vibration. And now the truth is, this is always how it's been. And we haven't been operating in that frequency, right? So this frequency's always existed, but we've been operating here. So we've been operating with pushing things, with will, with I need to work hard. Hi, Floor. Oh, so good to hear from you guys. I love when you type in the chat. If you're here, say hi. And, we're moving into these frequencies collectively where, we just don't need to do those things anymore. We don't need to push. We don't need to. And yet our minds are still going, like, this is how I've always done it. What do I do now? Right. And so there's a lot of old habits and a lot of old programs that we're really learning how to not go on autopilot anymore. And one of the best things that we can do is to just be in presence, right? Multiple times a day. We want to just be present, just take a breath. Okay, I've got an old program. I posted yesterday on my Instagram stories. One thing that I'm really coming into is learning how to be an observer of my emotional states and not the one that's in them, like, oh my God, I'm in them and they're taking over. It's like, okay, I'm observing, I'm witnessing what's happening. Oh, thank you. You know what? I'll tell you in just a moment, this pendant. So what I'm noticing, so yesterday I posted on my Instagram stories, me eating ice cream and a donut. I said sometimes it's good to sit with your feelings, when intense feelings come up, just sit with them. And then it's even better if you sit with your feelings while eating ice cream and a donut. So sometimes, yeah, you got to play with life, of course, right? Hi, Alfred. Oh, it's so good to see you. Right? I'll be seeing you soon because I know that you're in the Laws of Creation course. So let me go ahead and give the announcements here, right? So the announcements, the Laws of Creation course, it starts this week. And I can tell you, I am more excited to offer this course than I have been to offer like anything in a while. And if you all have participated in anything that I've offered, or if you've been around me for even 5 minutes, you know that I get really amped up about just about everything that I offer, right? I'm always excited. And yet, this class, this course, I'm just like, you guys, I cannot wait to share this with you. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. So, the laws of creation are all about, or the course is all about how we create as gods, as masters, right? It is a manifestation course, but it's so much more than that. This is foundation level what creates in this world, right? So, how many of you uh, read or watched The Hunger Games? I know it's a dystopian series. I'm not saying that this is a game like that, but it reminds me of The Hunger Games, right? Because, you know, we like the drama, so we write these dystopian novel series and all of that. But in the end, we are on a playing field. We're in a game, right? We're creating such a powerful experience for ourselves right now, for our spirits to embody, to be embodied, and then to be these avatars running around in these games. And there are laws and rules and and I talk about this a lot in my book, so I'm really excited to get that to you all. But we've got different tiers of the game, right? And each tier, each dimension operates with its own set of rules and laws and things like that. And as I even said this in my first book, what's the most helpful is to go to the highest realm that we can conceive of and operate from there, because it's sort of like Russian nesting dolls. We can, if we're on the inside Russian nesting doll, we can only see that part, but if we're on the outside Russian nesting doll, we can actually operate within all of those realms, right? With more mastery, because we can see inward, but we can't really perceive outwards, except for there's a little bit of a glimmer. Anyway, I'm very talkative this morning. So we want to learn how to operate with the rules of the game here on this planet. And some people find it really uncomfortable to call life a game. I find it fun, because when I look at it as a game, to me, when people get uncomfortable about that, it's sort of like, back in Greek times where, or throughout history, really, where we thought the gods are acting upon us. And, we've got these gods that are playing a game and we're the pawns. Y'all, it's not like that. We are playing the game. We are actually the ones creating it at the same time. It's so, so, so good. Okay, so I'm seeing people typing. Okay, let me make these announcements. Thank you for asking about the book. So here's something that I'm learning. And I'm just going to share a big vision with all of you. I'm going to share something that I have learned about my personal path. I would say maybe 8 years ago at this point, I had a very strong vision. I was channeling. All of a sudden, I received this full vision, and the full vision was me standing on stage in front of thousands of people, speaking specific words. And I heard the words that were coming out of my mouth. I realized later that this was the beginning of my last book, The Era of the True Creator. And I heard in the middle of that vision, your voice will be heard by millions. Okay. That was terrifying for me at the time. It is no longer scary for me. I've worked through a lot. All that being said, throughout the past, basically since my awakening, and really this is true of all of us, we're always being prepared for our next version of ourselves and our next level, right? So over the past several years, I have been learning and calibrating myself into this next level, being available to more people. So those of you who are in here, sometimes that means that I shift the way that I am able to communicate, right? Like I'm not able to private message everybody all the time as I am able to speak to more people, right? So, with the book itself, I was having a little bit of a moment yesterday because I can't even tell you how much editing I have done. This is the book. I printed it out. More editing. Like, I don't know if you guys can see this. More editing, more editing. Working with my editor, more and more and more editing. And I wanted to just push and have the book done. And I wanted to say, it doesn't matter, put it out there. It's got a good vibe, it's got a good message. And what I'm hearing is, because I'm moving into this next level, the book needs to be at that next level. So that's a very long way to tell you all the book is not available yet. I want it to be. It is within me, and I'm so excited to share it with you all. And it has gone through revision after revision after revision so that it can be the book that it really needs to be to reach as many people as it's meant to. Okay. So I am hopeful, and I'm not, placing any time limits on this. And I'm just working on calibrating my energy and having that translate into the book. So the book will be available soon. Okay, I've talked for long enough. I would love to hear your questions. All right, so for those of you who are new, yes, Sandra, you're already doing it. Great. So those of you who are new, if you have a question, thank you, Alfred, type the question and type Q at the beginning. And you're already on it. I love that you all are doing this. So if you are new here, what I do is every single week I offer these channelings for the collective. And in these channelings, I choose one question from this community. If you're watching this after the effect, this is my private community. It's called the True Creator Community. I go live in here once a week. This is also where all of my classes are held, the private classes, right? The community itself is free, so join in and you can enter your question as a possibility to be answered. And then I go into the channeling for the general collective for the week. So I do this every week. It's one of my favorite things to do. I have a lot of favorites, right? I'm really amped up about life. That's because I absolutely trust in the inevitable joy and play and goodness that is always coming to me. Always, always, always. Okay, I'm going to pull up the random number generator. Oh, I see lots of questions today. There's not a ton of people here, but y'all are asking some questions, so that's cool. All right. There's 1, 2. Oh, yeah. I love that question, Alfred. Okay, 3, 4. Any other questions? Speak now or forever hold your peace until next Monday. All right, 4 questions. I'm going to go ahead and type in to the number generator here on my phone. Question number 1. Oh, all right. This question is, will I find the apartment I need for October 1st, 2023? Okay. Here's the funny thing. By the way, how many of you caught the channeling, the water channeling last week? Drink your water. Don't eat animals from the ocean. Those are a couple of key things that came through. Yeah. All right. So as you all know, I love continuing to have you comment, and I will go in and read through what you're typing even after the channeling. So feel free, say hi to each other. I love that, connect with your community. And I'm going to have my eyes closed, but let me know if it's resonating while you're in the comments. And when I open my eyes, I'll be able to read your comments, okay? I feel like I want to answer all of your questions. We'll see what happens. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to answer all of your questions. I just feel like it. So let's play. So I'm going to pop my eyes open occasionally to read the next question. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. You all get to play. Okay. I'm going to go in order, and then I'll do the channeling for the collective at the end. So if you're here for that, stay till the end. Okay. Ooh, okay. So for the first question, will I find the apartment? This is really cool. And I promise it's not an advertisement, but here's the beautiful thing. So what I was talking about before I went into this channeled space where we really I didn't say this, but we often have a specific situation come into our lives at a turning point. What it does is it's a similar situation than what we've dealt with before, but we have to deal with it in a new way. And it shows us how to create in a new way, right? So this is your situation. And I'm glad that you're going to be part of the Laws of Creation course, because this is exactly, the timing is so good this for you in this question. Okay? Because you're going to learn through looking for a new apartment how to create in a new way. The old way is looking, in fact, the old way, here's what I'm seeing. The old way is as soon as you need to find something new, the assumption has already been made that it's going to be stressful. And so stress starts immediately, right? You have a program running that's not serving you. So in this new way of operating, you're going to completely flip it on its head. Now, this is going to be uncomfortable. I can feel, of course, the choice is yours, but I can feel that this shifting of creation is going to feel uncomfortable. And I actually feel it from my heart down into like my sacral chakra, right? So kind of these three chakras, possibly also your root, just sort of feeling like clearing the programs within the body from those areas. So here's what's coming through for you. When you start to feel elevated stress, like, ooh, is this going to work? Is it going to happen? What you want to do is find YouTube videos of different sound frequencies that help clear energy from these chakras. So from the heart, from the solar plexus, from the sacral and root, right? You might as well do all of the main chakras while you're at it. But, what you want to do is just know that the anxiety is coming up amplified while you're changing the way that you do things. And I'm seeing there's going to be just a little bit of what feels unstable, but it's because when we open up the parameters, walls are coming down, right? We're opening up the parameters to a new way of being. And that means internally within our mental paradigm, the walls are coming down. So it feels destabilizing. Okay. So it's almost not like a yes or no question. It's more, how is this process going to unfold for you in finding a new apartment? Hopefully that makes sense. All right. Next question, talking about emotions. How do you deal with negative emotions kindly? Okay. I like this because I like channeling with my eyes open. And once I get into the channeled space, I can open my eyes and still receive. When I read that, the first thing that highlighted for me was the word negative and just the judgment that we place on the emotions that we feel. We have used judgment against ourselves so harshly, so harshly. So that's the first step. Remove the judgment. These are just things that are coming up, right? We don't even need to call them emotions. We don't need to call them negative emotions. We don't even need to really call them emotions. We don't need to name them. We don't need to say, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling angry, right? Sometimes the naming helps us to identify if we're really disconnected from our emotions. I'm not picking this up from you at all, the person who asked this question, and I'm not picking up that you're disconnected from your emotions. But this wants to come through for people who are very disconnected from their emotions. Naming them is a helpful part of your process. But if you are connected to your emotions and you find yourself beating yourself up for them, naming them, naming them can kind of make us beat up on ourselves more, right? What we want to do is just be present with them, witness them, notice them. Like a bird, what I'm seeing is like sitting next to a lake. And the way that we witness nature, we're not partial, right? For the most part. There's a whole comedy show going on inside my brain. I was like, well, when we witness like lions killing an antelope, we're not neutral, right? So imagine a peaceful lake and birds, right? And there's a ripple in the water. We don't think, oh, that's a negative emotion. We just witness it. A bird flies across the sky and we witness it. It's in that same way. So we, instead of naming it, right? Like this naming, like it is this and that means this, that starts a whole program running. What we can do is we can say, I witness. I feel intense. I feel an intensity. Just be with it. Just be with it. And then continue to be with it and watch as it just goes from this to this. It just unravels. Being kind to ourselves in the midst of all of these emotions. I know for me, human, personal Allison, when I feel things, a lot of times I immediately judge it as negative, regardless of the feeling, because I am also very aware of my higher self, and I'm still working on the human experience, right? The human experience has chemical reactions and all of these things. And we're like, okay, how can I witness this? How can I witness this? And in witnessing something, we inherently love it because divine love then begins to channel through. And divine love is a powerful, powerful experience. It's not just this sort of, oh, I love you. It's the fullness of ourselves coming through. Okay. Should I start eating meat and maybe be more in tune with what is good for my body? What I'm getting for you specifically is not to create such a line between, this is interesting. There's emotion behind this. There's a lot of emotion behind this. Like, I feel like I want to cry in saying that don't put that line there. It makes me curious if for you, and I understand this makes absolute sense. An emotional connection with, I don't want to eat living beings, animals, right? So there's sort of this, like, there's a lot of emotion around it. So let me just be with that emotion for a moment. This is what I do when I'm channeling. I witness things, right? When we're in our lives, our regular human lives, if we can take a moment and channel, we're channeling the fullness of who we are and we're witnessing. It's I'm witnessing right now. I'm witnessing the energy that I'm reading so that I can read it more clearly, right? To go back to the last question. Okay, so there's some emotionality I'm witnessing around the idea of eating meat. Something that helps is encoding everything that you eat as if it's a sacrament, right? You are collaborating with the frequencies of all of the food that you eat. I'm getting, that you can add in some light meats, and that this is a process of understanding that everything is there's something about enemy, like there's no enemy that's coming through. So I don't want to go too deep into this because I feel like this could be pretty extended for this question. But the abbreviated answer is to take those lines out from your perception of what it is that you're eating. Everything has sentience. Remember what came through in the water channeling, and this was really cool for me too, to see that there's nothing pure or impure. It's not like, well, let me take that back. It's not about this food is of a higher and better vibration than this one. It's pure, right? So I reversed it. It's about the purity of what we're eating. The is it vibrating with sacred geometry, or is it missing some pieces, right? So, and the reason that meat tends to have some pieces missing from its sacred geometry is because of the process. It's not because of the actual vibration of the food itself. It's not bad, right? There is sentience in literally everything that we touch, that we eat, that we take in. And so we're becoming aware, right? Okay, so I don't want to go too deep into that, but may that help you. Okay. At the moment, feeling very frustrated that what I'm hoping to manifest is not coming into the 3D. This is great. I was actually feeling you for the course. I'm going to talk to you about it. Not even any small signs of progress yet. What do I need to do to shift things to come into the physical? Okay, let me read that. Not even small signs of progress. Ooh, honey, I feel this one deep. I feel this one deep in my body. There's something that you're holding on to. This is really cool. When I was younger, I had a mentor who said, you know, don't be a trapeze artist, right? And what she meant was, when you're a trapeze artist and you're swinging from this bar to this bar, you can't ever hold on to both at the same time. You're not going to go anywhere, right? So you're swinging, you've got to let go. And if you watch trapeze artists, they let go of this one before they have this one. When they're swinging from one to the next, they let go of this one and they fly through the air, and then they grab this one. It's even if it's a millisecond, there's very rarely a time where they're actually fully holding on to both. Okay. So what I'm seeing is there's something that you're holding on to that you don't want to let go of. It's a program that does not fit with what you're manifesting and bringing in. And in fact, that old program is where the frustration's coming from. It's not from this idea that you're not manifesting what's coming next. Your frustration is actually, it's pretty deep. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to go too deep into it. It could be a full-on reading, but look for the program. What I'm seeing is it was seeded in childhood. There's something. What were you frustrated about in childhood? Something really frustrating. Okay. And that is something that you need to unlock, deprogram, let go, and then boom, what's already trying to come in will come in. Okay. And it's going to look a little different. All right. I'm going to go into the collective channeling. That was fun. That was fun. I won't do that every time, but it was sure fun to do this time, to read for all of your questions. Because I feel that they really help the collective. What's coming through is we are all desiring of so much. I cannot wait to share this book with you, because there's a part in this book that talks about a desire emerging is the sign of your blueprint, your divine template being activated. If you have a desire coming up, that's actually an overwhelm of things that you desire, whether it's to be higher vibrational being, whether it's to have more ease in your life, whether it's to manifest a specific thing. When we have an overwhelm, like a deluge of desires emerging, you know what that's showing is that you're waking up fast, right? Because when we're at a certain level of consciousness, we build walls. We don't let ourselves desire things. When we open, when we start to expand, we start to wake up, it's like all of these desires start coming through strong. It happens a lot. And then we're like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. I have a million things that I desire. And the process is to be a creator. How do we become creators or allow ourselves to be the fullness of these God creators that we are? It's overwhelming. It feels so overwhelming. But that's where we flip into play. That's where we switch into play, right? So there's a lot. What I'm noticing the collective, this is probably why I felt overwhelmed from the collective and from myself last week. It's like we have a bigness that's coming in, a bigness. And it's the fullness of who we are on another frequency. It's just like, wow, we've really expanded. And now we're perceiving things and we're desiring things. And the new process is to let it actually be easy. The hard part is our attachments. The easy part is the allowing. The only hard part is our attachments. And that's legitimate. It's legitimate. It's okay that we have attachments. It's okay that we experience the feeling of, I don't want to let that go, right? Because we had a limited perception previously. We believed that letting something go meant that we wouldn't get it. It's flipped on its head. When we let it go, that's when we get it. It's about holding a frequency, okay? It's about holding a frequency. What else am I seeing in the collective? As soon as I ask that question again, I get this beautiful opalescent color. It looks like the inside of a seashell. I've been getting this for a while, and I'd like to ask more about this frequency that's coming in. And I hear 8th dimensional consciousness. Star beings. I'm seeing these really beautiful white interdimensional beings. I'll just describe them to you. They look like in the movie E.T., except for they're white and tall, and their heads are just a little bit smaller, right? In the movie E.T., the 80s movie, he was like this little guy, But these beings they're very much like that. In fact, I'm seeing the finger, and I'm going to ask what their message is. I'm getting a full transmission here, so just a moment. We come from the stars. Our our gift to you, they're showing me where they're from. I'm actually hearing Milky Way galaxy, so that's interesting because that's us, right? We're here to gift you the understanding from a higher vibrational plane of all is now. Your species is ready to create on this level. Oh, wow. Okay. I've seen this before. A lot of people, it feels really, really good to communicate with them. A lot of people perceive of time as a timeline. It's a whirlpool. I don't really, and they're showing me again. They're showing me this motion. When you create in this way, time is not linear. Oh, so cool. Imagine taking a line and then instead swirling it in a spiral. And now, if you were trying to get from point A to point B, it's going to take a long time when the line is out like this. I'm burping because I'm shifting frequencies and it's releasing some tension in my body. So instead of it taking a long time to go from A to B, swirl it. They're showing me this is an analogy for how time works. And then go from point A, you're sort of time leaping along, right? And it's just easier. It's just easier. And what they're saying is it's from lesson to lesson. It's from lesson to lesson. Instead of perceiving time as moment to moment, perceive it as lesson to lesson, download to download. I keep hearing where they're from begins with an S. It's like S, like SW. I don't know. It's okay. Thank you for that lesson. They're also, what I'm seeing is like they're coding, and they're telling me that a lot of interdimensional beings, what they do is they come into sort of the frequency atmosphere of the planet Earth and inscribe their codes because it opens things, right? Because their codes vibrational plane. And so they're sort of like inscribing codes on the outer frequency planes of the planet Earth to assist. It's almost like what they're showing me is so beautiful. It's like when you take a little seed and you just push it barely under the soil and then you pat it. It's like that loving planet. It's so loving, like boop. And now it's going to grow. Oh, I love this. I feel like this is an unconventional channeling, but I'm going to go ahead and come out. So communicating. Oh, a lot of shifting here. Okay. Well, that was different. Hmm. Hmm. I love that. I'm reading your response. I'm going to read this out loud for the recording. I just received a message about an apartment that uses my words to describe it, words that the seller did not hear or read, responding to all my questions. So, responding even to the things that you didn't ask for. You guys are amazing. Amazing is the word. I love thinking of time like a spiral. Oh, yes, it's so. That was a really, um, I've received this several times in channeling where I'm shown a specific timeline and it looks like a whirlpool. It looks sort of like when you watch the Weather Channel and they say like this is a hurricane. It looks like that. And there's always a guide, like a being sort of standing over it and like pointing to different things on the timeline or the swirl. So I rushed with my makeup today and it's like I just smeared it on my face. Um, so yeah, it's really an interesting way of perceiving it, and I'm still really coming into the understanding. Interesting, the ET messages you're receiving. Time, lesson to lesson. I can live with that. Love is all there is. You are all so beautiful. All right, loves. So, I never want to jump off of these calls, but so I will just remind you that this Friday, the laws of creation begins. That's the course about consciously manifesting, creating your world as God's on the planet. Okay. If you would like to join that and you need a little bit of help understanding how to get in, let me know. Okay. I'm here to help you. All right. I will not always be this flexible. So take advantage of it now. I will be offering this course again. But like I said, I am shifting. So if you need help getting in, I will only be flexible this time. Okay. It's not going to always be this way. So take advantage of it now. All right. What else? What are some other announcements? The book will be out soon, and I cannot wait to share it with you. And I will share it with you as soon as possible. Send me all of the love and good juju that you would like so that I can really finalize and get this done. All right, my loves, I will see you soon. Bye.